If you've been working with previous versions of Microsoft Windows, one of the utilities you've probably worked with is the most popular utility of all, Windows Explorer. Here in Windows 8, Windows Explorer has gone through a few changes, and we're going to start with a big one, which is a brand new ribbon interface. So to launch Explorer from here at our start screen, we could go directly to the desktop and load it up there. It's not a Metro style app, so that's where it's going to run anyway. Or if you have a tile here for Windows Explorer, as I'm calling it right now, you could access it or right-click anywhere on the desktop, select All Apps, where you will find Windows Explorer retitled. There it is, File Explorer. Notice the icon has remained the same, a yellow folder. We can click it from here. It's going to take us to our desktop and launch the Explorer app. Now, if we move down to our taskbar here, you'll see that it is running, and it's accessible here from the taskbar as well. So we could have just switched over to our desktop, click this icon, and get the exact same window. Now what you're probably seeing by default is a list of your library folders, documents, music, etc., showing up here with library selected. And we're going to take a look at some changes that have happened to this UI, beginning in the top left-hand corner. Here's what we call our quick access toolbar. You will see an icon representing Explorer that you can click to do things like minimize, maximize, even close it up from here. But then you're going to see some actual tools, a properties tool, a new folder button for creating new folders. I have a delete button here that I've added. And how do I do that? By clicking the drop down where you can pick and choose what's going to show up on your quick access toolbar. Clicking one that's already checked will remove it. Go back there, click something that's not checked, and it appears on the quick access toolbar. So it's up to you. You can totally customize that. That's not a big deal. Over on the right hand side, we still have our minimize, maximize, and our close button for closing up the program. But what's really changed is right below this bar, and that is the ribbons. If yours is not expanded like mine, go to the top right corner and just left of the question mark help icon, click the expansion arrow that's currently pointing down. First, you're going to see a file menu tab, as well as tabs representing the different ribbons, the home ribbon, share, and view. Let's begin with the file tab. We'll give it a click. Now from here, you'll see file commands, like opening new windows. Here we have one that allows us to access the command prompt, the old DOS prompt you may have been familiar with in very early versions of Windows and before. We can also go to a delete history. So if you've been deleting files, here's where you go to see what has been deleted, but also here's where we can go to get them back. There is a help function, and you'll see when we move to help, anything with an arrow has more than one option. About Windows, there's the help feature. And there's the close button right down there at the bottom of our file menu, which will close up File Explorer. Let's click the File tab again to close that up and take a look at the Home tab. Now the Home tab has a number of commands, very common commands, copy, pasting, deleting, etc. Many of these are not accessible until we actually have something selected, such as a file or a folder. So let's do that. We'll go to the desktop, and if you have the exercise files like I do, we'll open up that folder with a double click, where we'll see the contents listed here. If you don't have the exercise files, you can experiment with your own files. Now these are different types of files. We have JPEGs in here, we have a music file, we have a video file, and it looks like a PDF file here as well. So let's just choose our PDF, Volunteer Orientation Letter. Now when we select the file, you can see now we can copy, we can cut, we can delete, we can move or copy to other folders, etc. Now that's a PDF file. Notice on the ribbon we still have our Home tab, Share, and View tabs. If we go to Share, we have some different sharing options like creating a zip file or sharing with our home group, specific people. You can click the drop down. If you have more options, they'll appear there. We can stop sharing one that is shared, and there are some security options from here as well. But look what happens when we choose a different type of file, such as our swatch. Now that happens to be a JPEG file or a picture file. So look what happens to our ribbon. A new tab appears. It's context sensitive. It's labeled Picture Tools, and when we click Manage, we're going to see options for working with picture files, like rotating them, creating a slideshow and viewing our picture files in a slideshow format, or making that selected file our background picture. Now it doesn't make sense with the current view, so let's go to our View tab and change the way we're viewing our files. you're probably seeing details like me. And in this case, we see the name of our file, the date modified, the type of file it is, the size. We can reorder these. For example, I want to go by the type of file, so they're all grouped together. There's my JPEGs, then my movie file, then my MP3, and my PDF. But we can also change the way we view those files on the list. Let's go to, for example, large icons. As you hover over that, you get an idea what's going to happen. I like that view, so I'm going to click it to lock it in. And now maybe I do need to rotate one of these images. With swatch selected, I can go back to my Manage tab. Maybe it needs to be rotated right or left. And it will happen right there in front of your eyes. All right, let's go to a different type of file. Let's go to our MP3 file, Easy for You. When we click that, notice Music Tools appear. And when we click the Play tab under Music Tools, we can actually play this directly from File Explorer here. We can play all of our music files, add it to a playlist, for example. And if we go to a different type of file, like a video file, we get Video Tools. Again, it's a Play tab where we can play that video directly from here. So those are some major changes to what we used to call Windows Explorer, now relabeled File Explorer. All of the options for working with your files appear on the various ribbons, including some new context-sensitive tools depending on the type of file you select. We'll leave this open as we continue to work with File Explorer.